Hey guys, and how about we watch Hulk vs. Doomsday Death Battle? Alright, as far as what I know about these two, basically, I know that Hulk gets more powerful as he gets angrier, and I know Doomsday, at the very least when he was being made, was adapting to whatever killed him somehow, and eventually he became a super powerful monster. But as for what will happen here, I don't know. I don't know what exactly Doomsday can do, and I do know Hulk just gets incredibly powerful once he gets angry. So, I'll be honest, there's not that much for me to say here, because I'm not sure if you've noticed by now, but I'm not too much of a comic book nerd. I do know some stuff, obviously, from the movies and just from pop culture in general, but I don't actively search or know all of these facts about these comic book heroes. So yeah, ultimately I do think I will make the prediction that Hulk will win, because I do know more about him and he seems pretty powerful. But I don't know what these guys will say. And I mean, they might get it right, they might get it wrong, I don't really know. But either way, let's start our show.
Before we get into the episode, I have something very important to tell you. Our new game, Super Rad Ray Gun, just launched on Steam for PC, Mac, and Linux. With over 20 unique levels, 3 modes of play, and tongue-in-cheek story of 1980s politics, it's a whole lot of value for just $9.99. And pick it up by November 15th, and we'll even give you the soundtrack featuring music from Phantom NK and Bubble Pipe Media for free. Click the link in the description after the video and get your copy today.
Pure, unadulterated rage. Usually, in a stressful situation, you'd want to avoid this sort of emotion in order to keep yourself focused.
Just all of
Unless
this.
you're a giant rampaging pile of muscles, like these two.
Dr. Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk.
And Doomsday, the monster who killed Superman. He's Wiz.
I think it's funny how that's just
And
his
it's our
title.
job to analyze their weapons,
What
armor,
even
and
is
skills
that
to find
Hulk
out who would win
flip?
a death battle.
And yep, Torian.
Within each of us, oft times, there dwells a mighty and raging fury. And this suits no one better than the mild-mannered scientist, Bruce Banner.
'Cause when Bruce gets angry, oh boy, you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Dr. Robert Bruce Banner may have grown up with few friends, but what he lacked in popularity, he made up tenfold with his intellect. However, in spite of his gifts, it was never enough to earn the respect and love of his father.
Partly because Bruce was so smart that his alcoholic dad literally thought he was a monster. And
What?
expressed that to Bruce pretty thoroughly.
What?
God damn! How much distance do you think you got there, Wiz?
Oh god,
9,
why?
10 feet?
Man, with an arm like that, he could really go places. Like the nut house after he murdered his wife right in front of Bruce. Aw.
Understandably traumatized, Bruce coped by creating an imaginary friend to talk to.
You know,
Seriously,
I had an
though?
imaginary friend
What?
Once.
You did? What was his name?
Dad.
Oh. Well, Bruce's friend served as an emotional outlet all the way through his college graduation. However, his advice to Bruce was oftentimes destructive.
So when the U.S. military recruited Bruce to make weapons, it was actually kind of fitting.
Bruce was tasked with developing a gamma bomb, which would use gamma radiation to target enemy weapons and buildings without endangering human lives. At least, that's what Bruce was told.
Surprise, surprise! Gamma radiation is actually pretty fucking harmful. And when it came time to test the bomb and some dumb kid decided to play his harmonica right in the test zone, Bruce asked his assistant to stop the countdown and dashed off to save him. But turns out his assistant was a Russian spy who set off the bomb anyway.
On that strange, strange day, Bruce's imaginary friend became a real-life
Wait, that's
terror
the explanation
as he
in this?
transformed into the Incredible Hulk.
Really?
Yes, apparently. Ever since, whenever he's angry, Bruce's body and mind morphs into that of the Hulk's, granting him unmeasurable power.
While he loses Bruce's brain power, the Hulk is ridiculously strong. He can leap great distances, survive the harshest environments, and most importantly, smash the crap out of everything with his bare fists.
He also knows a technique known as the thunderclap, which creates a shockwave that can deafen foes, level forests, and push back explosions.
And if he needed anything more than that, the Hulk has a healing factor that gives Wolverines a run for his money.
You're healing. You should be dead.
He's super strong and super hard to kill. What's not to like?
Well, there's one little detail that kind of ruins the whole experience. Bruce can't really control the Hulk. In fact, the Hulk is his own being, and they both hate each other, vying for dominance over Bruce's body. And yet, Bruce and the Hulk are often reminded how much they depend on each other for survival.
Bruce figured if he was stuck with his big green Goliath forever, he might as well try using it for good.
Yeah.
Eventually joining the Avengers, Defenders, the Fantastic Four, and even the Illuminati.
What?
Hulk has held up a
What?
150 billion
What
ton mountain,
is that?
escaped Earth's gravitational pull with a single jump.
And one time when a planet's tectonic plates started splitting apart, threatening to shatter the whole world, he just jumped right in there and pulled the planet back together.
The estimated average mass of a single lithospheric plate is nearly 45 quintillion tons, and the Hulk
Oh,
pulled
God.
two of these together.
Why
with
is
nothing
Hulk
but his
so
bare hands.
ridiculously
And he's
strong?
not just strong and tough. He's more than twice as fast as a fighter jet, which puts him over Mach 5 speeds at least. And he can always go faster if he's pissed off enough.
This is because the Savage Hulk's strength is directly related to his anger. The angrier he gets, the more powerful he becomes. In theory, this means his maximum level of strength is potentially infinite. And when he taps into that immeasurable rage to the fullest, he truly lives up to his name of Worldbreaker.
Bigger, stronger, and oozing with gamma radiation, the Worldbreaker Hulk is so powerful, with a single stomp he created earthquakes felt hundreds of miles away. In his battle with Sentry, basically Marvel Superman, they almost destroyed New York. And when battling another Worldbreaker Hulk, a single collision between them obliterated an entire planet.
Oh,
Even
God.
the mutant Darwin's power, which specifically adapts to counter any enemy, decided that the best defense against the Hulk was to be somewhere else.
Holy hell! Who could even stand up to this madness?
Not many, obviously. Typically, Bruce does his best to contain and limit the Hulk's power. In fact, Worldbreaker Hulk is a result of Bruce relinquishing that control entirely. In terms of combat, usually only cosmic beings like Silver Surfer or Zeus have the might to challenge the Hulk.
Oh yeah, like that one time Zeus hit him so hard it burned out his healing factor.
But even gods sometimes
Oh,
have to
God,
learn the
th-
hard
this-
way. You do
this
not
clip.
mess with the Incredible Hulk.
I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that. Puny god.
And now
What if
Doomsday.
all you had ever known was hatred and aggression, violence and pain? This life is reality for
YouTube comments, Doomsday. Yeah. Doomsday guy.
thousands of years ago on an
gotta love
uninhabitable prehistoric planet which would one day be known as Krypton.
Huggability
a
level
scientist named
cactus.
Bertrand intended to engineer the ultimate life form.
Yep. it's
Once
another one of those
temporarily
stories,
gains
but
sentience.
with one hell of a twist.
See, at this time, Krypton was a harsh wasteland filled with nothing but sharp rocks, poisonous air, and violent predators.
Bertrand believed that if he could create something that could live through that, they could survive just about anywhere.
To realize this theory, Bertrand acquired an infant from somewhere, and through a rapidly
that's
accelerated
random.
evolution process, attempted to transform him into his dream creation.
Oh, don't try to dance around it, Wiz. Bertrand put that little sucker into a baby cannon, blasted him into the wild to get murdered by any number of things, sucked up what was left of him with a vacuum cleaner, and just cloned a new one out of the mess to do it all
Is that
over.
really Doomsday's origin?
Yeah, the idea being each new clone would be stronger than the one before, thus covering millions of years of evolution in just a few decades.
That doesn't sound like science.
No, it doesn't. So after 30 straight years of baby murder, one of the clones finally survived the test. Amazed by his own success, Bertrand named this baby the Ultimate.
The ultimate baby.
But to the rest of the universe, he was their doomsday.
See, Wiz, reloading as it is, patenting my baby cannon was a good idea.
Successful as Bertrand's experiment was, it was anything but a good idea. Turns out, while Doomsday usually appears to be a mindless beast, he remembered every single time Bertrand had him killed. As a result, Doomsday had been unintentionally programmed at a genetic level to hate everything that lives.
Bummer.
Well,
Needless
that's
to say, Bertrand was
dark.
pretty screwed.
Because even with 30 years of development, Bertrand had never quite figured out what to do if his experiment actually worked. Because Bertrand is the worst.
I mean, he did do what he set out to do. He made an 8'10" monster that doesn't need to eat, breathe, or have internal organs to live. It just kills and kills and kills some more.
Doomsday possesses enormous strength, incredible durability, and poisonous spikes
Well,
which can
that's
extend.
kind
But
of
due to Bertrand's experiments, Doomsday's greatest power of all is his ability to adapt to his opponent's powers.
After taking his sweet revenge, Doomsday stowed away on a supply ship and ravaged dozens of planets until he finally found himself on Earth.
On that day, Doomsday
So,
did the unthinkable.
I was
On that
expecting
day,
them to
Doomsday
elaborate,
killed
but
Superman. Well, kind of. He actually put him into a super sleep after
so
several days. He kinda
it's
woke up
just
more powerful.
instant. I thought he had
we
to
all
come
know
back.
Liz. At least Soups took Doomsday down with him. Or maybe not. Turns out, whenever Doomsday dies, he just comes back to life, forever immune to
Okay,
whatever
so
killed
yeah,
him in
that
the
is
first
how it
place.
works. That's what I've heard.
Can't beat me the same way twice.
He's been punched to death by Superman, blasted apart by the Radiant's energy, brutally ripped in half, incinerated by Imperiex, and just curb stomped by a Kryptonian horde.
Practically invulnerable at this point, Doomsday's taken on Darkseid, tanking his Omega beams and beating him to near death. He single-handedly defeated most of the Justice League and took on an energy attack that wiped out a fifth of a planet.
He's punched through the Phantom Zone, battled super beings called Gogs for a century, and even broken Wonder Woman's arms. Arms strong enough to help pull the Earth.
And during his rematch with the Man of Steel, after witnessing Doomsday survive an explosion equivalent to 1 million nukes, Superman realized that the only way to stop him was to send him to the end of time.
At his most powerful, Doomsday's mere presence can boil the ocean and
What
disintegrate buildings.
is Doomsday?
A casual stroll across Africa made wildebeest an
All
endangered
right.
species just by walking around. But what he's got in strength, he really lacks in brains.
Not that he's dumb, he just literally lacks a brain. More often than not, Doomsday is little more than a one-track mind-killing machine. This makes his intentions predictable, and a clever opponent could use this to, say, lead him into a trap. And should that foe come up with a new way to hurt Doomsday, he could be killed.
Still, that's gonna be pretty goddamn hard to do.
I'm really not sure who's gonna win at this point. I'm thinking,
All right, the
I'm leaning more
combatants are
towards
set. Let's end this
Doomsday, but
debate
at the
once
same
and for
time, he
all.
has to
But
die
first,
in
Liz
order
won't
to.
stop talking about this thing, so he wants to tell you about it.
As a man of science, I analyze
This is Sims music.
everything, from the
Anyway.
car I drive to the razor that shaves my face. I only use a razor I've scientifically proven to be of both quality
Yeah,
and value.
Doomsday has to
I
die
use
to
Harry's.
get the
Thanks to their factory in
immunity
Germany, Harry's
to
produces
whatever
quality
killed him,
razors
so-
at half the price. Just $2 a blade.
I don't know, would he
Harry's
be
sleek
immune to-
five-blade razor offers
would they
a softer
count
flex
what
hinge,
he's become
trimmer
immune to
blade, texture
in the
handle
DC
for
universe
control,
already?
and a lubricating strip to help soothe the skin. But if you're like me, you'll
I
want to
don't
try
know.
it for yourself.
I'm gonna
Harry's
say
is so confident
Hulk
in their razor,
still
they'll send you a
because
trial set absolutely free when you
consistency,
subscribe.
so
Just pay $3 for
yeah.
shipping. And as a viewer of Death Battle, you can get a free bottle of post-shave balm, which soothes and relieves skin after shaving and helps reduce redness. Just enter the
Shaving
code DeathBattle at
cream.
checkout. So head on over to harrys.com by clicking the link in the description below and get your free trial set. and
Shaving
post-shave
cream
balm.
and
Just
razor,
remember, use
yeah,
the code
yeah.
DeathBattle at checkout.
But right now, it's time for a
Death Battle! Oh god. Oh my god, this is Metal Gear Rising music. hot wind blowing. I'm not a big fan of the Hulk model. Yep. Dirty and faithless, waiting to heed your instruction. On my own, invisible. Oh God. I am a wind of destruction. I like Metal Gear Rising, by the way. Like, a lot. I really like Metal Gear Rising. I'm surprised I didn't use music from it in Raiden's Death Battle. Anyway. Desert. This is one of my favorite songs from the soundtrack, too, which makes it even better.
Stupid gray man! God can't miracle!
Oh man, take the will. Alright. Looks like Hulk's doing pretty well so far, but at the same time, he's not done.
Spiky beard!
At the same time, he hasn't done any serious damage to Doomsday. Yet. What was its name? He still has yet to use the ultimate Hulk. I really don't remember what it was called.
Break buildings good, but Hulk, break world!
World Breaker Hulk. Thank you for reminding me, Hulk. Doomsday is impaling him a lot. Yeah, I think Doomsday has it.
With the Hulk's immeasurable power and Doomsday's impossible immortality, this truly felt like a fight between an unstoppable force and an immovable object.
Hulk may have had the advantage in raw strength, at least at his full potential, but Doomsday could certainly hold his ground. His victories against the likes of Superman and Darkseid prove he can take a hit from someone strong enough to break planets.
And by experience, Doomsday had the speed advantage. He regularly fights foes with light speed capabilities.
Very true.
That kind of speed is an extreme rarity in the Marvel Universe. In fact, the only foe that fast who Hulk's ever seemed to keep pace with in a one-on-one match was Sentry, and that was when he was at his most powerful stage, World Breaker Hulk.
So overall, Hulk had strength and Doomsday had speed, but neither completely outclassed the other. At first glance, this one looked like it could go either way.
Which means the devil's in the very tiny details.
So why couldn't the Hulk's infinite strength just keep rising and eventually overwhelm Doomsday?
Well, even assuming Hulk's strength was infinite, his healing factor was not. Don't get me wrong, it can only be overtaxed by hits from absurdly powerful beings such as Zeus or Sentry, whom Doomsday certainly compares.
Naturally, Doomsday's crazy strength and speed started wearing that healing factor down.
Here's where it gets a bit tricky. The Hulk may look like a giant green monster, but he's still technically human, and his power directly correlates with his anger. A human being's anger stems from an increase in hormones and adrenaline in the body. However, the brain can only produce these chemicals at such a rate for a limited time, eventually giving up and turning apathetic. Therefore, Hulk's limitless power could never have existed without his healing factor. It's the key. It allowed his body to continue producing hormones and adrenaline far beyond the norm, theoretically an endless supply, thus increasing his superhuman power to an immeasurable degree. So, Doomsday overtaxing his healing factor meant the Hulk could no longer maintain his increasing rage and Hulk form.
Wow, that's really cool how
That's why
much
there's a
detail
bunch
they're
of
putting
times in
into
comics
this.
when a huge impact forced the Hulk to turn back into Bruce Banner, including that battle between Worldbreaker Hulk and Sentry. With his healing power beaten down, he literally couldn't keep himself angry enough to stay in Hulk mode.
I love science, but there's still one more thing. Thanks to his battles with Superman and other Kryptonians, Doomsday has evolved to a point where it's basically impossible to kill him with brute force alone.
So Hulk couldn't have killed him by just getting angry enough to punch harder than Doomsday ever felt.
Precisely. Here's the proof. Superman and Doomsday eventually had a rematch, in which Superman was much more powerful than their first battle. As we discussed before, Superman's power is also potentially limitless by way of continually absorbing solar energy, and at this point in his story, he'd begun to discover that.
But try as he might, despite his increased power, Supes couldn't kill Doomsday with blunt force a second time.
Ultimately, Doomsday's immunity to being ripped, impaled, incinerated, blasted with energy, and being beaten by blunt force from both focused and multiple sources means Hulk just didn't have the options available to take Doomsday out before his healing.
That's really
factor was
interesting
overtaxed.
how it
On
works.
this day, Hulk met his doom. Doomsday.
The winner
Alright,
is
that was
Doomsday.
good, in my opinion. Next time.
Next time on Death Battle.
Oh, cool. Someone I don't really know.
Hey guys, I'm Ben. I play Wiz.
I
This is
mean,
Chatty
that's
plays
fine,
Boomstick,
but
and next up
still.
we've got Zorro from One Piece. Stick to our Twitter to find out who he's going to be fighting. Want to watch Death Battle on your big screen?
I mean, I
First,
know a
remember,
lot
you
of
can
people
now
like
download the
One
Xbox
Piece.
One and
I've
Apple
never
TV
watched
apps.
it
It's great.
personally,
It's super important.
and
We just launched a brand new video
I
game,
don't
it's
know
Super
this
Rad
guy.
Ray Gun. Link in the
Anyway.
description. Click it. Check it out.
So yeah, I really did like how much detail they went into in the end there. Like, that was much more than they normally do for the end segment. That was like almost to the level of Goku vs. Superman. And it seemed pretty good overall. And it's very good reasoning. I did actually mention that Hulk wouldn't be able to kill Doomsday anyway, because Doomsday's definitely died from blunt force before, which means now he's immune to blunt force. Or at the very least, he can't die from it. And other than that, the only real, like, incredibly apparent attack Hulk had was the clap, which in and of itself isn't a very deadly move. It's certainly something that's pretty new to Doomsday. It probably hasn't gained an immunity yet, but at the same time, it's not powerful enough to kill him. So yeah, I did like this death battle, and I mean, I can't say I'm excited at all for the next one. The next one isn't even a character I somewhat know, so yeah, I mean, I'll watch it obviously, but eh. So, if you guys liked this video, be sure to leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. If you want to see more videos like this in the future from me, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm sure you know all that stuff. Anyway, see you in the next video.